Well, welcome to the Belconnen Basketball Stadium for this round 3 extravaganza here between the Canberra Nationals and the Basketball Australia Centre of Excellence. David J here in the commentary booth for Basketball ACT, looking at bringing you all the action from the stadium today. It's going to be a cracker of a game. It is big time here, as always. It's the third week in a row we've played at home for the for all of the Basketball ACT elite programs. Joining me in the commentary booth is a former Capitals player, coach of the Nationals Academy, Miss Peter Sinclair. G'day, how you going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very, very good. Thanks. Great to have you here. Really excited to get your insight into the game too a little bit later on throughout it because of your involvement with the Nationals Academy program. But this one's going to be exciting. Last week was a big game. Unfortunately, the Nationals went down by 10, but lots of fighting spirit against the Sutherland Sharks. But on the flip side, the Centre of Excellence, a massive win over the Inner West Bulls. I won't say hapless, but I tell you what, if you were reading this independently without any context, it was a big score. It was 163-21 victors last week, the Centre of Excellence. Huge there, but today could be a different story, Peter.
Absolutely. I mean, they're a young athletic tour group, but I think with the experience of the Nationals program, hopefully they'll come away with a win today. Yeah,
lots of, experience from that WNBL level right across both our squads today. We'll run through the starting lineup of the Canberra Nationals. By the looks of it, we've got Hannah Kazar in 7, Sarah McCapian in 10, Elizabeth Tonk starting in 23, Chris Langhorne in the middle in 13, and number 5, Abby Cabillo. That's as we mentioned, plenty of experience there. Sarah McCapian, Abby, Hannah Kazar all had that recent WNBL experience. They'll be looking to use that against the CoE, who contain a couple of names that we've known through the Capitals as well. In Jade's Melbourne in 5. We've also got Katie Diebel in 4. It looks like, who else is out there for them? Number 9 is Charlize Dunn. A couple of other players, including 23, Olivia Pollard, and it looks like 21, or 14, Millie Pryor. So there's got a couple of decent players out there for them as well. So, Peter, it's going to be a big ask for the Nationals to come back from that loss and against a team that has a lot of young up-and-coming players.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Nationals girls had really good hit-outs this week at training. You know, disappointed to lose last weekend against Sutherland, but, you know, the experience of Lauren Nicholson and their other tall shooters unfortunately came away with a win. But hopefully today the girls are ready to go, and it already looks like they're getting into it with some good shots already and defensive stops. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a long way to come down from a 142-point win. There's not much you can talk about during the week for the CoE that in terms of, being more clinical. I don't know how that works. It's a fair whack of points that they scored last week.
Absolutely.
And lots of other things. So they might be ripe for the plucking, as it were.
That's it. Absolutely. I mean, the whole group can all shoot the 3, and they're long and athletic, and it's a really hard ask, particularly for the younger guards or the shorter players in the Nationals program. It's hard to match up against those long, lanky type players in there.
Yeah, exactly. Join the action here, Cabillo at the top of the attacking zone for the Gunners, trying to find someone who's open, kicks it out to Tonks, who's under plenty of pressure from Melbourne. And it looks like they've come away with the call as well, that high pressure from Jade Melbourne. She's someone who's just come on in leaps and bounds in the last few years, had a massive WNBL experience in the hub recently.
Absolutely, yeah. She was fantastic for the Caps and a real bright spark that they had off the bench there and eventually started in that position. So but I think there's a bit of confusion with Nat Hurst at the moment. I think she thought the ref had called a foul, but I think it was just an out-of-bounds call.
Yeah, just getting it all sorted out on the sideline here at Belconnen Basketball Stadium. Before we go much further, Basketball ACT would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the ACT, the Ngunnawal people, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Basketball ACT acknowledge and respect the continuing culture Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people make to the life of basketball within the city and the region. Timed that right. Looks like the CoE, the Centre of Excellence, gets the ball back. Good defensive pressure there.
Absolutely, and that's been a focus, is really ball pressure as soon as the players got the ball, and I think the girls are doing a great job so far to start the game. A lot more energy than last week.
Shot down there. Oh, good rebound there from Langhorne. She's going to have to play a big game here trying to contain the bigs from the CoE. She'd had it all the other way. She had so much work to do in last week's game against a much taller opposition, but she'll like her chances here at a pretty evenly and well-balanced opposition. Bounces off the back of the ring there for McCapian, who's been in good form early for the Nationals this year. Melbourne kicks it out.
Oh, good defensive stop there for the Nationals.
They trail 4-0 early in this game, but nothing's kicked into gear just yet. Just rims in and out for the hometown team. Try and register their first points for the day. Melbourne again off to the races.
There's a foul on Cabillo on the ground, I think.
There's a lot of pressure on the WNBL experienced players coming into this league, Peter. Abby hasn't been up to her usual high standards the last few weeks. How does Coach Hurst trying to get her into the game and getting a little bit more confidence with the ball and taking the shots?
Yeah, and it's really hard. I mean, it's new players, new team. We've got the academy program again this year, and they do a lot of training with these Nationals players as well. And you know, I think everyone notices Abby now. I mean, she had a fantastic WNBL season in the hub recently, and now she's a key player here in the Nationals program, and now everyone knows her name and who she is, and know that she's a key focus there for the Nationals. And if they can stop her, then that makes it difficult for other players and need to step up in her absence if things aren't working well for her.
Pretty well matched there with Jade Melbourne on the defensive end. Know each other pretty well from that WNBL season just passed up in the hub. Nice pass over the top from Melbourne. Finds a player. A couple of looks there for Charlize Dunn. And just to bank it, they lead 6 points to 0. Tonks trying to find some open plays. Kicks it out to Kaiser. Just off the fingertips of the defenders there. Cabello towards the basket, draws the foul. Not a bad effort. It's a stock in trade, that drive to the basket, and it seems that there she's going to try and, well, basically trying to get there as fast as she can, as often as she can. Yeah,
and Abby does a great job, you know, with her height and using her body really well, and you know, shooting amongst the tall timbers in the keyway there.
Looking to register the first points for the Nationals. Gets it on that occasion. And that second one successful. And a trail by 4 points, the Nationals, but they're on the board. After just on 4 minutes. Round the back there, just didn't work for the CoE player.
Great pressure by Tonks there.
Really good pressure there. There was no way she was getting past that wall of Tonks. Come away with the ball. Already you can sense the CoE realise they've got a bit more of a game on their hand than last week. Successful there from Tonks with the skyhook. CoE brings it back through Melbourne. Back up to the top. And Pollard looking to take McCapian on. Skip it around. Subs coming in, Natasha Lyle coming in.
Yeah, and this number 7, Evans, her mum used to play WNBL for Sydney Uni Flames, Chloe Mullaney, so it'll be good to see how she goes. Yeah,
plenty of size there and good matchup too with Lyle. Both young, solid players. Both quite physical by the looks of it. Sure that there'll be a couple of occasions where they get isolated together, Peter, no doubt.
Absolutely, it's a good matchup for Tash out there and a real challenge because she's quite strong in the post there.
CoE kick it around the top through Deeble and Melbourne. Lets it fly. Didn't have much time in the pocket there on the shot clock. Just gets back-footed there. Cabello once again looks to slice towards the basket. Really causing a headache with her speed for the defenders at the moment. Substitutes there, the young and the old, as it were. With Mickey Williams coming in on 24. And the veteran Michelle Cozy had a good game round one.
Fantastic. It's so good to see her back on the court and not in a referee's uniform, but in a playing uniform.
Yeah, no, really good to see. Her experience will certainly help out that second team as they come off the bench and into the game. But it's great to see the Nationals with that good smattering of experience right across the playing group, with so many young players coming through, not only through the academy where you're involved, but also through into the top squad. It's nice to have the luxury of having that experience there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fantastic for the academy girls as well to be able to play against players and train against players that have had the WNBL experience and that knowledge as well while they're still developing. And I think that's a real challenge for the older girls too in the Nationals, is that, again, like the CoE girls, they're young, athletic and tall, and that's what most of the academy girls are, and that's another good challenge and experience and probably helps them for the preparation for this game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also pushes the older veterans as well to make sure that they're up to it. You can't afford any luxuries when you've got somebody snapping at your heels for your spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the game's changed so much since, we were playing with Mus and Natty and things like that. You didn't have to be super athletic and tall. You could be slow and fast and still, make a presence and impact on the game. So it's a huge adjustment from where the game's come from, 10 or so years ago to where it is now.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly is an exciting time, and especially with the 3-on-3 into the future, coming off the back of the Tokyo Olympics. It's going to be a lot faster. It's going to be a lot more dynamic. Basketball is totally in your face, so make sure you get behind it. This is the first one there from the line, trying to halve the lead. Gets that second one. All the points for the Nationals coming from the charity stripe at the moment.
Looks like they're running a half-court trap here.
Get out there, extra player at the top. Kuok. These bigs down in that paint there certainly established themselves nice and early, and it was just the quick thinking of Tonks on the defensive end that caused the ball to go out. It's a good drive there. Almost paid off with the up and under. Second time lucky. Then they're going to have to work hard boxing the opposition out. Williams just caught short there, trying to come around. Able to get their own rebound. CoE at the top. Just bounces off for Dunn. Cabillo brings it back with interest, speed. Just unable to finish on that occasion. Again, certainly, intent early in the game, Peter, is to slice to their basket as often as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a big focus for both programs this week. It's trying to score within the first 8 seconds of a shot clock, so it's a big focus of getting a defensive stop and pushing it as early as they can.
And try not to fall into the trap of just standing back and watching you do it. No, that's the only issue for the Capitals, for the Nationals, sorry. Mickey Williams finds some space, just loses a handle on it. The CoE bounces back. Melbourne at the top, just getting themselves a nice 7-point buffer now, the CoE. That was too easy from downtown. 2 points there for Pollard.
Yeah, that's a shooter out there. You've got to make sure we're ball pressure as soon as they catch the ball. Yeah,
quick timeout here for the Canberra Nationals. Just over 3 minutes 20 in this quarter. Feels like it's been a lot longer. Been a good arm wrestle thus far. It's not insurmountable. 12 points to 3, starting to get a few more points there. More concerning, though, Peter, is, like we mentioned, all the points for the Nationals coming from the charity stripe and fouls.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Cabillo's shot every shot so far for the Nationals, and, they need other people to step up, like Tonks and McCapian and Langhorne and all our senior players here to step up. And even just now, just Williams in that last sort of turnover, she's a shooter, and she proved that last week against Sutherland. She came out and was a real good spark for them. So she needs to build that confidence from last week and bring it to today. Yeah,
just got to ease into the game and try and get a few points and a few looks from different angles. It's all coming through the hands of Abby Cabillo, the number 5 for the Nationals at the moment. Just They're looking for that diversity and start moving that defence around for the CoE. Doing it pretty comfortably, leading 12 points to 3 at the moment. Still a long way to go in this first quarter, but don't want to leave it, the gap too big. Heading into that break. It's Caitlin Rose into the game. With Cabillo at the back. Lyle, Cozier and Williams. Tasha Lyle on the switch there. Trying to make some space for Mickey Williams. Spinning around, finds Cabillo. Caitlin Rowe finds herself a bit of time. Draws a foul from outside the arc. Nope.
No, offensive foul. I think it was on Cozier.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, discipline is no doubt something that they'll need to talk about at the quarter time break, Peter.
Yeah, I think they started a lot better than last week though, and that was a focus this week. And so the energy's been really good. They've got good shots, just unfortunately not hitting anything at the moment.
Good long pass across the court there. Finds Purock open for the 3 and gets it.
Yeah, I watched her play last week at Under-18 Nationals for Vic Metro, and she was a huge standout for them. I was really impressed with her ability to put the ball on the floor and shoot the 3.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of representative players coming back into the into the elite programs right across the nation after the 18s. We'll talk a little bit about that at quarter time because you've got that issue as the ACT younger players sort of come back into the squad and how you get them into the academy side. So come quarter time, Peter, we'll get your thoughts on that.
Absolutely.
Sub there. It's too easy, made the space there for the CoE. Emily Sewell had a good game last week against the Inner West Bulls, pulling down 25 points. Just a little bit taller, a little bit bigger. Certainly someone that they'll need to keep an eye on. The Nationals as this game progresses. Finds herself with some traffic there, Caitlin Rowe. Lyle and Evans going head-to-head in the paint. Matt Hurst calls for the more experienced Chris Langhorne to take over for Lyle. It's the first one. And that second one, lead kicks out to 15 points. Starting to extend a little bit as we draw closer to quarter time break. Real dangerous time for the Nationals at the moment. It's not like they've had it all their own way, the CoE. They've just gone about their business and executed probably a little bit at a higher, more success rate.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got the luxury of, being able to train in their own training environment day in, day out. And so the familiarity is a lot more than what our players are of the Nationals who, study full-time and work full-time. So, an hour and a half to 3 hours each week is hard to gel together as a group.
Yeah, exactly. We see the points are traded back and forth in this game. And again, they've come away with another intercept. Just that urgency lacking at the moment about ball safety and security. Good rebound there from Cabillo. Brings it back with interest. Defender's got it back to her. Just unable to shoot over those extended arms and fingers, but McCapian almost comes away with the steal. Back inside for the CoE. Bit of a mismatch there for them. They like their chances there.
Offensive foul, I think.
Yeah, just coming through, making some space there. Shelley's done. On that rebound, she's shown pretty good touch early in this game, in this quarter. One of their main focus points, Shelley's. Cabillo finds McCapian, trying to get some more points as we count down to quarter time. McCapian unsuccessful there with a couple of looks underneath. Cabillo finds it off the right hand. They trail 7-21 with just 30 seconds remaining in this quarter. You see Abby Cabillo, good defensive effort up the court against Katie Deeble. Jump ball there. White with 16 on the game clock, 14 on the shot clock. So we'll take it right down to the end of the quarter. Making some space there, Deeble. Close attention from Cabillo. Back inside. It's a little bit too heavy off the glass there for the CoE. Had another couple of looks there. Going into the quarter, 21-7 in front, the centre of excellence. Plenty of work for the Canberra Nationals to do in the next quarter. But Peter, they just go about their business, you know, really, really professionally, really business-like. Like I said, they probably wouldn't be comfortable to think that they've got it in the bag at this stage. Plenty of good matchups that they have to try and get over and arrest. But they just go about their business and just chip away at those points. And you can see all of a sudden it's 21-7 and the Nationals are sitting there thinking, well, hang on a minute. What was 3 points is now this many points. So, yeah, so a bit more work to do on both ends for the hometown team.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, like I said before, they've had some really good shots, but I think the Nationals girls need to play more to their strengths. You know, the CoE girls are long, they're athletic. You know, so if they get into the keyway, using a shot fake and drawing them up in the air and trying to get in for a foul or at least get to the free throw line. You know, Abby Cabillo's done a really good job so far of using her size and finding ways to shoot inside the keyway. And then again, with people are open, if Abby's, you know, driving to the basket, get receiver spots and shooters. And if you're open, shoot the ball, don't hesitate. You know, Nat's been really good in that she really encourages players to shoot. You know, if you miss, keep shooting. She'll tell you if, you know, you need to rethink a shot maybe, but Nat's the type of coach that really encourages that. And that's come from her as a playing experience too. You know, Nat was a great shooter and she really encourages that with her group too. So again, just being more confident out there. If you're open, shoot it. Don't worry about the tall timber and find ways to get stops defensively. Yeah,
exactly. Plenty of people to be well activated, not only off the bench but on the scoring chart. So plenty of options for the Canberra Nationals. Just a bit more miserly with the ball as well. It'd be good. Not so many turnovers. They're just having a little bit of a hard time getting the ball to the players that they want. But that'll no doubt come with experience and as the game goes on to it. But for the CoE, probably more of the same, like we mentioned. Just going about their business nicely. They're in front by a fair way at the moment, 14 points or so. They can afford to just start, you know, just taking it easy a little bit and try to implement some of those things that they're in the program that they want to do each and every day.
Absolutely, and they just got to keep doing with what they're going on so far. They're doing a really good job, you know, fighting inside touches, particularly against the Nationals group here. But Nationals have done a really good job of boxing out and getting after the ball. They just got to convert it at the offensive end now. Yeah,
absolutely. Just quickly through some of the key stats already. Abby Cabillo is leading the way for the hometown team with 5 points and 5 rebounds. Most of those points, some of those points scored from the line, as we've seen. But for the CoE, the Centre of Excellence, this is a bit of a danger sign. Kiara Evans, the lady that you mentioned, 8 points already. She's joined on the stats chart by Charlize Dunn. 6 rebounds, first quarter. She's doing it 3 and 3 for both offensive and defensive rebounds. She's looking to go through and try and find those extra points, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she's playing exactly like her mum. She's got a strong body and real good presence in the post. And, you know, she's an exciting player to watch for the future and no doubt will be a future Olympian.
Centre of Excellence get the ball now early in this second quarter. Nationals were able to bank another point to make it 21-9. Trying to get through traffic there. And the attention of Abby Cabillo. Jade Melbourne will be going to the line. Now, we spoke about it briefly in the first quarter, but as we line up for these shots here with Jade Melbourne, incorporating those young players from those rep programs into your squad and filter into your top team, it's half the fun of a program like that, but it makes your job more difficult, especially at the academy level where you're coaching the Nationals Academy with the under-18s coming back in. So many great players listed in the squad, so many young players coming through who are going to have a big mark and leave their name in Canberra basketball. How do you incorporate it after the academy have done so well in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, no, the girls have been training really hard that we've had so far. But again, the focus from Basketball ACT and from Nat and Chris Higginson as well, is to make sure that this academy program is focusing on that under 23s, which is that missing sort of age group after under 18s is finished. So, it's great to have all these up-and-coming young under-18 girls come back to the program, and they'll definitely push for a spot in the academy program. But we do want to keep focusing on the development of our under-23 players and building that pathway to eventually make these nationals programs here as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Some great players who had a pretty decent tournament down in Werribee over the last week or two, couple of weeks down there. We told you last week about the men's success for the ACT with the bronze medal, and while the results didn't go the women's way, they did manage to finish off their campaign with a victory, which is great. And yeah, a lot of experiences coming back into it, so I think the players are going to be really bringing some extra energy from the tournament into the program.
Yeah, and it was so good. I mean, we let the girls have Tuesday night of training this week, just to recover from a long week at nationals, but they came back Thursday and it was great. They fit right into the training session already, and everyone was happy and pleased to see them again, and they look like they've never missed any training sessions. So again, like I said, they'll push really hard for that starting position or a position within the playing group each week. Yeah,
it'll be good getting some of those players back into it, so we look forward to having the Nationals Academy side back on the home court pine soon enough. Goodbye this week. Abby Morton checks in for Michelle Crozier. Didn't get much game time last week, Abby, but solid performer in game one.
Yeah, and we'll probably look to bring Abby into some of our academy games as well. She's still really young at 19, and same with Emmy Clark and Jazz Bootsas as well. It's a similar role that they play in our academy program is to be able to have that opportunity to play in both and build their confidence in the academy to be able to compete and be a presence in the nationals program.
Outside, able to not many points added over the course of the last few minutes here at Belconnen Basketball Stadium. It is the hometown Canberra Nationals trailing at 9 points to 23. There's certainly been a good arm wrestle on both ends of the court. As Hannah the Laser Kaiser dials it in, grabs 3 points.
Yeah, and that's what we got to do, the Nationals, if those girls play off and they're expecting the drive from Cabillo, spot up and be confident with that shot.
And keeping them well above the arc at the moment. The switch comes through, Melbourne threads the needle, finds Deeble on the wings.
Great box out by Cabillo.
Good work, she's working hard on the defensive end, that's for sure, Abby Cabillo. I think that's a sign of a great player. If the points aren't coming, they lift their intensity the other angle to still have an impact. And she certainly had that over the last 3 weeks. Slowing it down, Melbourne. Inside to Pollard. 2 defenders. Evans back inside to Pollard. It's a big mismatch, able to do it.
That's Cabillo's 3rd foul as well, if that's on her.
I think so. Giving away plenty of centimetres there too in the paint. As Tonks comes in for Cabillo, makes that replacement. And Charlie's done. We highlighted her rebounding. You've got to keep an eye on her at both ends of the court. Pollard makes the first. 12-point lead to the CoE. Gets that second one. Playing pretty high, the centre of excellence, certainly making the Nationals work hard with a couple of defensive set changes. Yeah, they've extended their pressure, particularly with Cabillo off, putting more pressure on Tonks and, Kaiser and McCapian to bring the ball up. Oh, ended up being a nice look there for McCapian, unable to finish though. Melbourne comes back using his speed. Inside again, going to their tall timber. Just trailing through. They certainly are using their size and their height to their advantage at the moment. Centre of excellence, especially with those missed drives and those offensive rebounds. They're able to come through and get those second and third good looks. Yeah, they're trying to take advantage of the lack of height that the Nationals have, particularly on the court at the moment. They've got McCapian playing the 4 and Kaiser in the 4 as well, and so they're basically making cuts off that post presence in there because the Nationals are trying to double and force the ball out of the keyway. And again, if you get caught ball watching on the weak side, that's where they get the cuts through, and it's unfortunate we have to foul in that presence there too. Yeah, exactly. Certainly putting plenty of pressure on the hometown team. with the amount of fouls at the moment. Still a long time to go in this quarter, just over 6 minutes. Certainly been a pretty interesting arm wrestle. Hasn't felt as one way as the scoreboard might indicate, with the Nationals trying to just get their game into place for today. A little bit of work still to do, but
yeah, I mean, the efforts are there. They started really well, a lot better than last week against Sutherland, so you can't fault that. It's just, again, this second quarter's been better than the first when they've just got to keep building and chipping away at that lead.
Yeah, it makes it hard against a quality team like the CoE as well, giving them a bit of a lead and then playing catch-up. Some of the other teams and squads in the tournament or in the championship, you could probably allow them to do that, but these guys, they're trained to be, for every situation. Basically, if you're leading by a little, do this. If you're leading by a lot, do this. If you're behind, so they've certainly got the work. They've got them worked out, but again, it's even at this stage with a couple of points, it could be anyone's game.
Yeah, and again, I think the CoE this year, they were able to play a full season in the Waratah one, and that's probably a focus for them too. Is they don't want to go out there and just develop and get better as a group. They want to go out there and try and win a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Millie Pryor there with the first for the CoE. Finally gets that second one. Sort of did a tour of the ring there at the Belconnen Basketball Stadium. It's finding a little bit hard to find their players. That half-court pressure is certainly making those options dry up a little bit for the Nationals. Yeah,
and the Nationals making it hard by trying to pass over the top of long athletic players. They got to go under or at least fake the pass to make a better one.
Kaiser out in the wing, finds herself in some space, is looking to take it on up and under. Just doesn't get by, but Morton's able to get the rebound, just blocked off that. As the CoE comes hard at it again. And Melbourne able to find that driving player. Pryor cutting right through the middle for an easy 2 points. Kaiser downtown. Just rims out on that occasion. The CoE looks to bounce back. Find those players. Puak on the edge there. They reset inside.
Again, taking advantage of their size and athleticism against the shorter Nationals program.
And again, it's certainly something that you can't, you can't teach height, but you can certainly try and teach ways to counter it. But when you're up against it each and every week, it makes it very difficult to sustain that effort sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Nationals have done a great job ball pressuring the passer. It's just making sure they get that help and being more physical inside the post.
Yeah, good 1-2 punch there between McCapian and Tonks. Through there over the back, just making it hard for Morton to get that rebound. And Melbourne's there to capitalise on the points, drawing the foul as well as the points. Going to the line for one. Yarmine comes in for McCapian. Young star on her way through the pathways here at ACT. Big future for Yarmine. Had a lot of experience with that senior Nationals team.
Yeah, we've got a sister Mary in our academy program, and Mary's done a really good job. She's super athletic, is a presence in there inside, and hopefully she'll be able to build that up and make the Nationals team next year.
And Langhorne. Yarmine. Back to Langhorne at the top, finds herself open, makes that three. Not a bad effort in drawing out the defenders. Starts cranking a few of those. Draw it back nice and quick for the Nationals. They trail 17-34.
Oh, nice pass.
It's too easy, able to find it, even though there were a couple of defenders there for the Nationals, still able to find their player for the score.
Yeah, and the Nationals are trying to force middle with pack defence. So unfortunately, if you get beat not middle, it makes it really hard to rotate out of there.
Bringing the tension for Kaiser down low. Sends the ball a little bit too high. Just on 4 minutes remaining in this half. The lead starting to creep out a little bit. Here's CoE. Good drive from Puak. Made that look easy. Stonks Finds Kaiser down low, kicks it back to the top. Langhorne had some success at the top. Elects to drive, but kicks it out. Quick thinking, quick hands from Kaiser, keeps the ball alive.
Oh, great drive.
Good work from Tonks.
She did a great job using her body, not allowing this taller CoE girls to get on and try and get a hand to that.
Yeah, she started the season really well, Elizabeth Tonks. Been very impressed with her game. Shot pretty well from the outside the last 2 games, but doing all the hard stuff and the tough stuff today, so she's got a versatile point of attack.
Yeah, I mean, Tonks is great. She's a great leader on the court. She's a presence on the court as well. Offensively, she's a threat. She's a great defender. Last week she had a tough matchup against Nicholson. And again, that's always a tough matchup against a future Olympian. So hopefully she's, more of an offensive presence today and continues to lead the group.
Yeah, she took on the big assignment last week against Lauren Nicholson from the Sharks. And we see now she's not afraid to do the hard work.
Great defense.
There. Yeah, great defense on the taller CoE player. And you've got quite a tall lineup on the court at the moment, the CoE. Out that elbow, finds that shot. A few more baskets starting to drop now for the Nationals as they claw it back to within 15, 38-23, with just over 2.5 minutes in this half. Is it a case of the CoE just holding back on the defensive end?
Yeah, I think, the Nationals have been a little bit stagnant with moving the ball and sort of watching one person try and make a play. So I think now, they're moving the ball, they're moving players, and it's making the defence move, which is harder to defend.
Yeah, a bit of a miscommunication there. And the inbound pass from the baseline for the Nationals. Turned it over. It's back in the hands of the centre of excellence. They're certainly up for it. They'd be relishing the opportunity to get on court and play in a strong competition after last year. They didn't really get much of an opportunity to play at the standard that they usually used to. But it is basically the closest thing to a crosstown rivalry we've got here at the ACT at this level. And so many people and connections we've spoken about before, about some of the Capitals players coming through and the experience of Jade Melbourne on there. But even at the coaching level, former teammates, former friends, championship winners, you would have been there for some of it. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to sort of get behind and go, well, need my team to win first, but I want the other team and the other players and coaches, and we're talking in particular Kristen Field as well, who had plenty of time and court time with the Capitals over the years. Just bringing that knowledge and having it all there, it's great to see so many people connected with that program filtering back into it. Yeah,
for sure. And, the number one thing is it's great to see women head coaches in this league as well. And you've really played with the Capitals for quite a few seasons. Nat's, a hometown hero here, and it's great to see her give back to the Canberra basketball community. And then Sarah Graham, an assistant coach as well. I played with her up in Brisbane and with the Brisbane Spartans up there. So it's really nice to see that those long-term WNBL players are now giving back to the juniors and showing what they know and their knowledge.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a little bit like the Raiders in some regard, that all these players go away for their opportunity coming from the one club, but yet they still come back and still support the hometown team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Steeble at the line, missing for the CoE on that occasion. But still a healthy 17 points, 40-23. Adds one more, 41-23. Good defense for Melbourne there. Quick on that lateral movement. Mayan's able to find Langhorne. She used the leg of the defender there just to get herself out of trouble. Double team very quickly.
Yeah, it's a veteran play right there.
Yeah. Had to do something. Yeah, they've had a very good ability and knack of just shutting off with those double team plays, the CoE. Make it really difficult for the Nationals to get into a rhythm. That switch. High defence, Melbourne's had to work on her own. Manages to do it on her own as well. High court pressure. Oh, and again, double teamed in the key spot. CoE able to choke that point of attack on that occasion.
Great pass.
Yeah, good pass, good look there from Kaiser Langhorne. Found herself in a good position, trailed by 20. Gets it out across. Turok. And they've certainly turned the, they've ratcheted the heat up on the defensive end, the CoE, as I mentioned. Able to really cut down and cut off that attacking avenues for the Nationals with those double team plays close to the baseline.
Yeah, I mean, with Cabillo off, they're putting pressure on other people to step up and bring the ball up the court, and so far they've done a good job with that double teaming at halfway.
Clean sheet as well, almost. Only the one team foul for the CoE, so they really are putting those defensive stops on. Getting plenty of reward out of it, not getting called for those fouls if there's any, or not getting any points. Nice crossover there from Tonks to take Melbourne out of the equation.
Right, yeah.
Banks with two. Nice move.
Yeah, I think Melbourne thought that she was going to use a screen, and Tonks rejected it and went middle.
Attention at the top there for Melbourne as she brings it down for the team in white. Shot from outside. Really is a threat from just about everywhere on that attacking end.
Yeah, that season WNBL's definitely helped her with her confidence.
Doing plenty of work for her teammates as well to get them in good position. And Tonks again, 2
Great
points.
Great finish for the quarter.
Brings it to within 19 points.
Yeah.
Do that mental sums in my head there, Peter, and always not been good at maths, but thank goodness it's here, and it's all brought to you by Wonky Media. It's Davey J here and Peter Sinclair in the commentary booth for the round 3 match between the Canberra Nationals and the Centre of Excellence here at the Belconnen Basketball Stadium, all part of the 2021 Spalding Waratah 1 women's season. We'll run through some of the leading scorers and some of the efforts shortly. But again, they've had all the answers, the CoE. They show that they're the team to beat on so many different levels. And against the Nationals team looking to bounce back after a loss last week, they've pretty much got all the answers early in the game.
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, most teams you can scout in the Waratah League, they've got at least 2 to 3 really key players, key scorers that you can sort of know and do your work on. But with the CoE, everyone can score, everyone can shoot, everyone plays that effort there. So it makes it really hard matchup to focus on one particular player for the Nationals. You can't go and double team the post because they've got shooters on the outside. Yep. You can't go pressure the ball because they've got athleticism to drive to the basket. So again, it's a huge challenge, and maybe Hurst might need to look at his own, particularly in the second half. But that's the key right now, is to get stops defensively to be able to generate that offense. Yeah.
Speaking of the offense, it's a little bit one out at the moment. A couple of players, and especially Abby Cabillo, we saw Hannah Kaiser as well, and Elizabeth Tonks to a degree. They've been bringing the ball down themselves and then being the ones that have scored. So obviously the defence of the CoE is really cutting off those options, and they've had to play their hand themselves. That falls into almost the game plan that they want, where they're isolating these players, letting them go to town. Results either way, it doesn't really matter to them because they're able to nullify the rest of the team.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate with Cabillo sitting out most of that second quarter with 3 fouls. That put pressure on people like Tonks and McCapian and Kaiser and things like that to bring the ball up against the tall Timber, and they ended up playing a half-court trap against the smaller Nationals there. So, but again, you saw probably the last 3 minutes of that quarter, the Nationals found a way to get through those traps, found easy passes and more movement offensively, which allowed them to score freely for Tonks and Kaiser in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll run through some of the stats, the stat leaders for the game before we take a quick break. For the Centre of Excellence, 10 points is Millie Pryor. She's also got herself 6 rebounds. Speaking of rebounds, Shalise Dunn has continued to, be a big big presence on the rebounding end with 7, and it is Jade Melbourne, as we identified, captain of the team, most experience of the team, good solid minutes as well, just under 16 for that first half, 10 points and rebounds too, but plenty of other actions. 3 steals, that's the good one there, and again, that trap is really, really working for them. On the other end of the account, 8 points for Elizabeth Tonks. That's our leading scorer for the Canberra Nationals, and she's being helped with 7 points from Chris Langhorne, finding herself in some good open situations. They can try and draw her out a little bit higher, draw the defender higher. There might be some room underneath, I think. I think she's going to play a key role in the second half, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, the CoE is young and experienced, and you just got to find ways to attack that inexperienced ways, and you saw the Nationals do that the last sort of 3 minutes. They got penetrations, you know, the CoE overhelped, which allowed people like Langhorne in the post to get open shots under the keyway. And same thing if, you know, Langhorne can shoot the 3, and it's great to see that she's finally rewarding those efforts out there.
Yeah, excellent. All right, we're going to take a quick break from the Belconnen Basketball Stadium. We'll join us back here very shortly for the second half of this round 3 clash in the 2021 Waratah 1 women's season. Well, welcome back to the Belconnen Basketball Stadium for the second half of the round 3 clash in the 2021 Spalding Waratah 1 women's season. It is the Canberra Nationals up against the Basketball Australia Centre of Excellence, and it is the CoE that lead 48-29 over the Nationals at the moment. Joining me in the booth is Peter Sinclair, former Capitals player and current Canberra Nationals Academy coach. Great to have you here first off, Peter. It's not a bad one, especially with the opportunity to see some of the new names that are going to be coming through and peppered through the future of basketball. But plenty to like for both teams. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's been a good game so far. The score hasn't really reflected what the energy's like here, in person at the stadium. So I think, for the CoE, this is the championship quarter right here, and this is where, the Nationals need to make their mark here. If they're going to ever come back into this game, this is where they need to start just chipping away at the lead here.
Yeah, it has extended out to, quite a little bit, 29 points to be exact, or 19 points, I'm sorry, exact, but not insurmountable. If they can get themselves on a roll, get some of those defensive stops that we were talking about earlier, and really put some players into space, all of a sudden their offense will look a lot better. Yeah, for sure, and I think, the Nationals need to mix it up defensively, make the CoE, young heads really make a decision out there, and we saw that already in the second quarter. They've done that. They've found ways to pressure the ball, whether it's double teaming inside the post or on the pass or outside. Yeah, exactly. Plenty of great players, and all of the key names that we've sort of highlighted as ones to keep an eye on. Jade Melbourne's doing fantastic, and Kate Diebel as well for the CoE. But Abby Kabila started off quite well, got herself in a little bit of foul trouble. We'd need some more offensive output and defensive output from her in the second half. Yeah, I mean, she's a smart player. She's played WMBL. She's got that experience. Nat's going to start her probably the second half as well, and she'll just be smart about how she goes defensively, not reaching and making those silly fouls. Yeah, absolutely. Elizabeth Tonks as well, chipping in with, several points, in fact, for the Nationals team. 8 points in that first half, a real key for the attack and getting the ball to the players that will be an open. It's not a bad lineup for the Nationals, with Abby Cabillo in 5, Sarah McCapian in 10, Chris Langhorne in 13, Hannah Kaiser in 7, and Elizabeth Tonks in 23. Take the court for the second half. For the CoE is Kate Diebel, Millie Pryor in 14, Olivia Pollard in 23, Jade Melbourne in 5, and Charlize Dunn, who's had a big effort in that first half as well, in 9. As the CoE look to get it down court and go to the jump ball, does indeed end up with the white team. It was a good move by McCapian. Unfortunate, didn't finish that inside. Diebel brings it down for the CoE. And again, it's Melbourne versus Cabillo early in the defensive set. Switch around too easy there, just was able to spin and get past, cross over and get past McCapian for the 2 for Melbourne. McCapian brings it around Tonks, those long arms. Dunn, making it difficult. Nice pass off the ground to Langhorne. Just monstered out of the way on that occasion. Yeah, and you can live with those ones because, the Nationals are being attacked into the basket, so you'd rather get an out of bounds than a turnover there. Retained possession. Cabillo at the top. Kaiser. Again, passing into traffic. It's Sarah Wee that's come away with it. All doing all the running, finding the right plays at the right time. Just unable to execute that, but does draw the foul. Millie Pryor goes to the line, having a good game for the CoE. This is on that occasion. Gets that one. Good position for Tongs to drive into the centre of the paint. Back out, good defence from Pryor as well. On McCapian, making it very tough for the veteran to try and get the ball away a couple of centimetres. Pillow drives it through, does what she does best. Left hand off the glass and in for the 2 points. 20 points they trail now. Again, harking back to the things that were working for them early in the first half there, Peter.
Yeah, again, another Cabillo drive and great finish by her. But, you know, again, that's a great screen by McCapian there, okay, to set her player up.
Stone looking to get past it, find some space into traffic.
And that could spark some energy right there, a Cabillo charge.
Come away with the ball, the Nationals. That fingertip there. Again, good pressure up the court from the centre of excellence, really making it hard for the Nationals to get into their offensive rhythm. And so again, just unable to get past those long arms of Dunn. Fore and back. Still managed to keep the ball. Double team down low. Oh, just unable to put it away on the first occasion, gets a second look.
Yeah, they're doing all the right things, just not finishing off with a box out and rebound.
And well covered right across the court at the moment, the Nationals. And substitutions being made with Caitlin Rowe coming in for Hannah Kaiser. Tonks been a leading scorer. That was too easy there for the Nationals. Look to replicate that a little bit more. That worked almost to perfection.
That was fantastic. That was just a great read by Tonks and even better passer.
Just slipped out on that occasion, but certainly had to work hard for it. Made me dizzy here in the commentary box trying to keep an eye on where they're up to. Millie Pryor at the line gets the first one. So back out to a 21-point lead. Gets the second. And that pressure, Caitlin Rowe really had to hustle to try and find a space there. Look at that shot. But again, being able to bring that ball down so quickly and get them into position super early, it's a nice luxury to have. Speed off the dribble there.
Yeah, I think both teams are doing a really good job pushing the ball offensively, and the defense has been up for the challenge so far.
Gets it out to Deeble. Doesn't quite drop on that occasion. Jade Melbourne, though, able to have another look at it. The Nationals on the run with Langhorne. Just unable to control that pass.
Yeah, I think she shot the ball before she caught the ball, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think she was well into her layup stride mentality before she even got the ball comfortably in her hands. Been helpful with just over six and a bit minutes in this quarter. It's a CoE with the ascendancy here. Almost at will. Deeble takes it on. Puts away with Tonks. All the Nationals just waiting for her troops to come down to get some options. Below. There's Tonks in the corner. Goes you back in the game for Langhorne, adding that experience in Lyle as well. Pretty balanced now at the moment, the Nationals. Good speed and shooting options outside. Through Rowe, Cabillo and Tonks. A bit of size and intimidation experience inside, Peter.
Yeah, in that instance just there, they just needed someone to cut off for Rowe, you know. The COE were all sort of ball watching and seeing what, you know, Rory was doing in the post, but if someone just on the opposite side cut to the basket, it could have been an early layup there.
Centre of Excellence bring it back down. They lead by 22, just over 5 minutes in this quarter. A foul for a push there on 15 for the Nationals. She's going to have to use all her wiles there, Michelle Kosier, in trying to keep some of those tools from the COE out. Emily Sewell, as we mentioned, big game last week. Tonks brings it down the court. Just looking for options on the inside, decides to take it on herself. Almost pays off. The left hand off the glass. Plenty of coverage from the COE. And the top Puok spins into space. Still tall enough to get her own rebound.
Yeah.
Too easy.
Yeah, Hurst won't be happy with that. Too many offensive rebounds.
Well, there's a high banker there for Deeble over Lyle. The timeout to Blue. Really needed the call out there, starting to skip out to, well, a fair lead now, 24 points to the Centre of Excellence. Still plenty of time, though, for the Nationals to do, well, basically to try and get their game plan into place.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, they just got to do what they'll sort of replicate in that second quarter is move the ball, get good screens, you know, cutting off post plays if the ball's inside and finishing strong, you know, using shot fakes if you need to against these tall, long COE athletes. Okay, same thing down the other end. You've got to get some stops defensively by rebounding. I mean, they're doing a really good job pressuring the ball and containing. They're just not rewarding themselves at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So really haven't put them to the test just yet, but it'd be nice to see some patches of that throughout the remainder of the game, just so that they know within themselves, I think, that they can do it and really put those secondary and third game plans into place.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just coming together as a group, working together, not working individually, and they've done a good job staying together. So the effort's there from the Nationals. You can't fault that at all. It's just, again, finding ways to score against these long, tall athletes.
Yeah, towards the end of that, well, we're just over 4 minutes remaining in this quarter. They really did have quite the long lineup for the COE, didn't they? They were able to cover just about everyone. Had a few inches in the bank, as it were, on just about every player, and liked the way that it sort of looked without some of their key players being out there, especially some of their guards in Jade Melbourne. She checks into the game now and brings back that experience, but all of a sudden they were able to maintain that gap and even grow it against the Nationals.
Yeah, most of their shots, you know, have come off second effort plays on the rebounds or, you know, some fouls from the Nationals players. I wouldn't say they're scoring freely off the Nationals defence. It's been really good so far.
Finds herself in some space again, Cabillo, but dishes it out to Kosier. Shut down pretty quickly. Again, good passing from the outside, the exterior. Finds those targets inside for the COE. Screen set up there, creates a mismatch underneath the basket.
Good rotation there from Lyle, really good job.
Yeah, good job of denying Sewell there on that occasion. Really hustled well.
And COE got 1 second on the shot clock. We'll see what they do here. Good defence by Nationals.
Yeah, good work. Not many options there for the team in white. Nationals get the ball just on the sideline, their back court. As you can see, lots of defensive pressure high in that back court, making the Nationals work from well down court each and every time they have the ball.
It looks like the COE sitting in a zone now. clogging up the keyway.
Oh, and a good pick off there. It's too easily read there from Puak. Banks off the glass. There's that Will. Wayward on that occasion. Had to grab and shoot that pretty quickly, Cozier.
Yeah, it's a good shot. I mean, Kabila did a great job drawing the defence during all the CoE girls in, and Cozier had an open shot. So you can't be happy. You got to be happy with that offence, that's for sure.
CoE able to put the ball into good position. Just a little bit loose there on the dribble. Brings a bit of havoc. Yarmine and Natasha Lyle just causing Puak just to let that bobble over, thankfully to her benefit. As the CoE looks to reignite their attack. Melbourne finds herself open at the top and gets it.
Tough shot.
I'm very impressed with Jade's
great running by the Nationals.
Been very impressed with Jade's ability to not only control the tempo of the play for the CoE, but banking her points when she needs to.
Yeah, and good pressure up here from Cozier and Cabillo. Really good
work
job.
from Cabillo. Plenty of determination there, getting the ball back.
Great job.
Certainly lifted it there. It's just that extra piece of energy that they were after, that little spark.
That's it.
Good balance for the Nationals at the moment with Lyle, Kaiser, Cabillo, Langhorne and Mayan on the court. Just a little bit over the head of Chris Langhorne on that occasion. Right idea. It's only a game of millimetres. From Yarmine there.
Great defence.
Cut off by Lyle in the centre. Able to read that pass, that overhead pass quite easily. Promotes it to Cabillo, finds Mayan on the wing. Just bounce over, but Kaiser gets the ball back. To the races, right idea. Mayan unable to control it, but bounce off her hands and then off a CoE defender as well to get the ball back for the home team.
Nice try,
Nice effort there. These two players would have seen plenty of each other on the training court for the Capitals this year. It's been a pretty good battle defensively between Jade Melbourne in 5 and Abby Cabillo in 5 for the Nationals.
This is so class.
Yeah. I dare say you'd be able to sell tickets of those two going head to head.
Yeah, it's been a great matchup so far.
Kaiser finds herself in a good spot for that rebound from the missed shot. Gets it back around. Cabillo drives hard. Finds herself under the basket, unable to get a good shot off. Finds Kaiser though, hustling hard, top of the key. They certainly haven't had it all their own way, the CoE, despite what the score says, a 30-point lead, 65-35 currently. They've been made to work for their shots on a lot of occasions.
Yeah, they certainly have, and I think the Nationals have come together with getting at least 2 or 3 stops in a row a couple of times. It's just working on their consistency and rewarding each other on the offensive end.
Let's switch through there. Defence for the Nationals. Into the final 30 seconds of this quarter.
It's great offense, yeah.
Deeble. The double team at the top there. Ryan finds herself having to pass through traffic. Langhorne back again.
Would you call that an assist? I don't know.
I don't know what that was, but she ended up with it in her own hands, unfortunately unable to get it to drop as we close this quarter. But when you've got to do it all yourself, I guess that's doing it all yourself.
Absolutely. That's called building up the stats. That's what that's called.
Absolutely. And the last play there, just pretty much for Chris Langhorne, a shot, a pass, a rebound, an assist. Unfortunately, no points as they trail 68-35. It is, 33 points here now, starting to creep out a little bit towards the end. But again, it's no reflection of how both teams are playing. The Nationals are going on those little mini runs, Peter. They're getting a few points here and there. Some good defensive stops and making sure they're denying the CoE that penetration and entry, but just unable to convert at the other end.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because, the Nationals girls and some of the Academy girls work really hard during the week. They get lots of shots up with Natty and Shane over there every morning. So, again, it's not like they're not getting the opportunities to put that into practice in a game situation.
Yep.
They're getting a really good job, training hard and trying to reward ourselves. But unfortunately, like the Academy girls last week, we just can't make a basket.
Yeah, exactly. It certainly doesn't help your, what you're trying to do and your game plan on the scoreboard. But they're doing plenty of good stuff on the other end as well, so that they are keeping at least within a reasonable score ratio and difference, as well as the CoE just seem to have all of the answers. They got out early with that lead and have just built on it. Have overcome anything that the Nationals have thrown against them, which is testament to their program, what they do over there.
Yeah, they're getting really good shots, but they're hitting their shots. That's the difference there, unfortunately. So, I thought Tash Lyle did a really good job bringing energy off the bench and got some stops to them defensively. And same with Crozier and Kabilo. You're pressuring the full court and getting a couple of, stops before the ball gets over halfway. So, again, you can't fault the energy from the Nationals girls. The CoE girls are just hitting really tough shots against contested hands.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it looks like it'll be continuing into this final quarter here at the Belconnen Basketball Stadium as part of our coverage of round 3 of the 2021 Spalding Waratah 1 women's season. This week, only 2 of our teams are on the court. It is the Canberra Nationals, and a little bit later on at 2 p.m, we'll have the Canberra Gunners up against the men's CoE program, which will be another exciting one. They had a big win last week, so 2 last round winners going at it head to head. That's all coming your way thanks to Wonky Media and Basketball ACT as part of the, as I said, 2021 Spalding Waratah League season. Kaiser from outside gets the scoring off to a good start for the Nationals. Certainly need a little bit more from her from downtown. Draws to within 30 points. Long way to go, but if they keep chipping away and keep doing positive stuff, I'm sure Nat Hurst will be happy with that, as Jade Melbourne continues to do what she's done all game. Just makes the points when she needs to for the CoE to keep their account ticking over. Kaiser again up against Dunn. Good matchup, that one. Now Mayan kicks it back out to Tonks. Tonks, plenty of room. Just bounces off the far side of the rim. Jade Melbourne gets the ball on the transition.
Oh, unfortunate.
Just gets a little bit across the arms there by the looks of it.
And that's just the story of the game. Really good offense from the Nationals. Unfortunate not to hit that shot from Tonks there. And then again, good stops defensively, but then just some fouls in the end.
In front by 25 now. Sorry, 35. Tonks looks to find some attacking options. Kicks it back out to Kaiser at the top. Gets it on the left hand. Good bounce pass in and out, but again, the defensive effort just a little bit too strong. Most days that would have just been absolutely perfect for Tonks. And again, that fast transition, well drilled for the CoE. Langhorne lines up and goes for it again. Bit of success early on in the game. So I'm making some subs there. Leading stats players thus far for the CoE. 15 points for Jade Melbourne, just keeps going about her business. 15 points and 8 rebounds to Millie Pryor. Shelley Stone still ticking over on those rebound counts. Really is having a good, a good game at that defensive end with 9 rebounds. Meanwhile, for the Canberra Nationals, it is Elizabeth Thompson, 23, leading the way with 10 points, ably assisted by Abby Cabillo and Chris Langhorne with 7.
Defense.
And Channel opens up on the left for Tonks. Has to come down and gets it, kicks it out to Kaiser. Kaiser gets that free. Starting to find her eye now, the laser. CoE, nice defensive effort there from Cabillo. Just picks the pocket of the much taller player from the CoE. Able to come back again, changing possession. Tonks is looking to get Deeble on the back foot. Goes through traffic, off the glass. Just doesn't fall. Chancellor looks to bring the ball back. The Nationals just falling into their defensive pattern now. Again, a fair few mismatches out there for the CoE. Some of their quick players on the Nationals' talls and vice versa.
Yeah, I think a couple of those veterans are getting a little bit tired out there with all the defensive pressure that they're playing. So Nat may need to rotate, or hopefully this timeout will be a welcome rest for them.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting time of the game, just over 7 minutes remaining in this one. The lead is 34 points to the CoE. We know they've only got about 8 players there that they're rotating through, and everybody's getting a good look in terms of their opportunities on court. But with an extended squad like the Canberra Nationals, it's important to get players some minutes, considering how far behind they are, whether they are in terms of the game itself. Getting some of those players who don't get as many minutes and starting minutes, getting them into the game to experience something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nat's done a really good job rotating everyone through and giving people plenty of opportunities. It's now, up to the players, and it's not necessarily going out there and scoring, for the Nationals program. It's doing things like boxing out and rebounding, running the lanes hard, getting defensive stops. Those effort plays is probably what's going to keep the Nationals players on the court right now. But again, the point spread can also come down to the end of the season. If there's a couple of teams on the same wins and losses, you don't want to be that team that misses out on finals because of, a 30-point blowout. So it's sort of a toss-up between, you want to give people time and opportunities, but you also need to be mindful of the score margin too.
Yeah, exactly. It's could see a few players that haven't got much time today introduced into the game as the quarter wears on. But again, as you mentioned, Peter, we've just got to make sure that it's all balanced there as well, and still giving you opportunity for your top players to build their confidence. And they might be a little bit down, they might just be off a little bit, or just haven't had the opportunities to contribute as much as they usually do.
Yeah, and I think you got to look at the context of, the CoE's, a super talented team. These are the best young athletes, 17 to 19 years old, and most of them are ready to, make a WNBL program or head off to college. So in the context of the bigger things, this is always going to be a tough game for the Nationals. And, the margin could be close. It's just unfortunate things haven't hit for them, offensively.
Yeah, exactly. Again, another wayward pass there. Highlighted that as one area that needed to be addressed, unfortunately, on that occasion. Just not finding the right player. A good defensive effort there from Chris Langhorne. Keeping out of Jade Melbourne's hands there for quite a while. Certainly is the go-to player for the CoE. They rotate through. Good options there for Dunn. Cabillo brings it down for the Nationals. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining in this game. First game of a doubleheader here this Anzac Day long weekend at Belconnen Basketball Stadium. Abby Morton just unable to get her shot going in the right direction. wayward pass there as Melbourne gets a little tired. Both teams certainly putting plenty of energy out there on the court. Both teams working hard. Willow and Tonks in the backcourt for the Nationals. Kansas still trying to make that space. Had a few good looks earlier. Just over on the wing there. Again, those long arms. Duroc just doing a great job in denying those cross-court passes.
Yeah, and Tash needs to look to shoot that too. You know, she can shoot the three, and just like Langhorne's been doing in the post, you know, popping out when things get crowded inside and shooting the open shot.
Just lull into a nice rhythm here now. Trying to make space, very well checked there. Finds herself with the ball there. So back out to Kaiser. Kaiser down to Tonks on the wing. She can shoot those. Just not on that occasion. A tussle under the ring between Morton. Duroc.
Yeah, and you can live with those fouls. You know, Abby went hard to the basket and tried to get the ball, and that's an okay foul to have.
Yeah, exactly. No harm on the scoreboard on that occasion. Foul does go into her column though on the stat sheet. Done again. We'll take over, adding a few more points over the last few minutes. I'm very impressed with her as well.
There's a hard collision there. I don't know who came off worse.
Exactly, her the knee on knee.
Abby looks pretty good.
Everyone looks a little bit shaken by that one. Scapillo ordering the troops around, making sure they're on the same page. Kaiser to Lyle. Oh, just a bit too big on that occasion. She comes away with Dunn. Kicks it back out. And again to the top to Melbourne. They reset with just on 15 seconds on the shot clock. Looks to take on Cabillo, switches over to Lyle. Duroc good around the back dribble there. And left hand, a very nice move there.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that last week at 18 Nationals. She's a talented player.
Dave Melbourne bringing it back. Cabillo's been guarding her all game, doing a pretty good job when she's been on her defensively. Now she's switched over. Natasha Lyle finds herself on the star player. Shelley's done. Scores another three from downtown. Good pass there into Morton, just monstered. See Purock. And she turned until too late. Side, nice give and go there. But up to the task, the Nationals, as Tonks comes away with it. And Cabillo on the trademark left-hand drive. Just unable to get it to fall. 46 is the lead with just over 3.5 minutes remaining in this one. A little bit too hard to claw it back, but still good opportunity for a young Nationals player to get in there and sort of have a taste against the best, isn't it?
Yeah, and hopefully Mickey Williams can bring that now. She had a great game last week, and I think that's what Navid's looking forward to with her is, you know, defensive pressure and being a scoring threat.
Oh, too easy there for Dunn. Slices through two players. Really undersized Nationals look to close this out, keep it respectable on the scoreboard. That's that done. A little defensive pressure there as well. Up the court. Caitlin Rowe switches around. Kozia. Looks to get that foul and does. Succeeds against Emily Sewell. Using all her veteran wiles and experience. Here is young Jasmine Butzos. Had a good game for your academy side. Week 1, shot the lights out.
She did. She did. I told her to rest her arm before the Nationals game.
A couple of points. Nice and quickly if she can. Real confidence player, Jasmine Butzos. Has come on leaps and bounds the last few years. Opportunity guard, Jade Melbourne. Butzos as the captain goes to work on Deeble. So done. And Zarin's done again.
Good D. Really good D.
Strong D there. Made that ball get into a few hands there. Just uncertain of who was going to pull the final shot there for the CoE. So great effort late in the game by the Nationals. They look to bring it back. Just over 2.5 minutes remaining. Try and get some few more points. Vicky Williams just short on that occasion. Found herself in plenty of space.
Oh.
The charge there. The only blight in Dunn's playbook today. Just usually handled everything pretty well. Going to a timeout. Good defensive effort there with just over 2.5 minutes remaining. Again, just with this amount of time and where they find themselves on the shot clock, Peter, great opportunity, like we've said, for the young players to get out there, try and make those shots at the next stage, or do an exceptional job in guarding some of those players and just getting those small victories now. Not much we can do on the scoreboard, but what else can we do to see it as a success? Yeah,
no, you're right. Definitely need to get those small little wins here in the game, particularly the last 2 minutes. It should be a goal here to keep them under, 95 or 100 realistically.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good margin, I think, for them to focus on defensively, is to have those little wins, those little focuses. And, the last 2 plays, they've got really good defensive stops, good rotations, good wall pressure, doubling in the post and boxing out. Unfortunately, we just got to try and find ways to generate it here. And again, Milky Williams, great shot.
Yep.
It's unfortunate to miss it.
Yeah, it's been the story of the night or the afternoon for the Nationals at the moment. Just unable to capitalise on those opportunities under the ring, and making those shots certainly doesn't help. But buoyed by good things heading into the break. The Nationals ball down on the baseline. See how we make sure they're matching up strong. Having to work for it. Butzos at the top. Much to aim for. McCapian takes it on inside. His long arms. Well done a good job at both ends of the court for the CoE today. As Kozia looks to take Deeble on. Gets some of the ball there, dislodges it for a second or two. CoE able to settle back into their offensive patterns. Evans.
Another
inside.
Good stop.
Yeah, another good stop there. Vicky Williams draws the charge, offensive foul from the CoE.
And a lot of that's generated from, the seniors in Capian and Kozia, generating that defensive pressure at the start, and it generates through to the rest of the younger players on the court right now.
Rowe and Kozia combine. Vicky Williams takes it on. Spins back around. Just not able to find a player in decent space. Caitlin Rowe takes it on. Didn't leave much opportunity there for herself to try and sink that shot. The push there late. Then making up for it on the defensive end. Goes to the line. I'll be happy to do that for the rest of the game, I would suggest. Just over a minute 40. Referees just finalising their call. And we'd like to thank our referees for this game. Mitchell Hudson, Byron McCready and Ethan Tolk. Did a pretty good job. Inbound pass for the Nationals. Kozia comes across the court, looks to take it on. Draws the foul there. Again, those veteran Wiles.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of confusion with the last foul with Caitlin Rowe and Jade Melbourne. I think everyone thought that, that was going to be 2 shots for Caitlin, but unfortunately they didn't call it that way.
It's the first one, Kozia. And the second. It's not there, Mickey Williams denying Deeble. Pretty good matchup. And Deeble going to take it on herself. Makes that shot.
That's great defence, even better shot. You can't fault that defence by Bootsis, that's for sure.
That's right, both the guards for the Nationals working hard. Keep Deeble out, but she's still able to get that point as a pass. Picture perfect. Jade Melbourne finds its target in the hands of Evans. Bootsis again. Finds herself out on the wing there, opens up a little bit. Caitlin Rowe drives through on that left hand. We're looking to maintain that. Over 30 seconds remaining. 50 points is the lead. Pretty clinical today. CoE, we wouldn't expect anything different. Jade Melbourne drains another 3 from downtown. A real luxury. We've said it before and we'll say it again. A real luxury to have. I don't think she's missed from the 3-point shots. Maybe one, Peter. That was about it. She looks to add a couple more. Draws the foul from Bootsis. Goes to the line. Opportunity to hit 100 here.
Yeah, let's hope she misses one.
Keep them under, that'd be nice.
Unfortunately, I think classy player like her, I think they're going to hit 100.
Gets that one, takes to 100 to 45 in favour of the CoE. Just tries that shot there. McCappy gets the rebound, but they've called it. As Melbourne went skidding across the court. So the Nationals will be the team with the last play. As Melbourne comes off, Kuok comes back on. Mickey Williams, the last look. And misses on that occasion. It's been a tough lesson here for the Canberra Nationals, but plenty of improvement to be made. They do go down by a 55-point margin, 100 to 45 to the centre of excellence. But Peter, like we said, some good things there, some good patches where they were able to adjust really quickly and change their defensive outlook that really put some pressure on the opposition.
Yeah, and again, the CoE is, it's the best young athletes in the country, future Olympians. So it's a tough matchup, particularly how long and athletic they are and how skilled they've done. I mean, Kristen Veal and Sarah Graham have done a great job with their squad. But for Nationals, I think think that was a better game than last week, to be honest. Unfortunately, we couldn't hit any baskets this week.
Yep.
But the effort there, the defensive stops were fantastic, particularly the younger girls, the last 2 minutes that came in. You know, Mickey Williams and Jazz Bootsis and Michelle Cozier, Sarah McCapian. Those guys did a really good job of finishing the game strong.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll run through some of those stat leaders in a little bit. But I tell you what, it was always going to be a hard ask against the team from the Centre of Excellence. But despite some of our shots not falling down, we could have added another 20, maybe even 30 points in the grand scheme of things to the Nationals total. Defensively, did okay. Got some good opportunities where they were using some teammates and able to go forward. They're taking the hit into the bye next week, I believe. But a little bit of work to do for that top team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, we haven't played against a lot of teams that are that size, that height, that athletic. And so, you know, like I said before, at least every team has, you know, 2 to 3 players or 2 to 3 imports that you can focus on and try and get defensive stops. And with the CoE, you've got to be mindful of every player. So I think, you know, from the Nationals to take out of it is just to keep training hard, keep getting shots up, particularly against contested and bigger players. And then defensively, he's mixing it up defensively, whether they go zone or half-court trap, man-to-man, just finding ways to make it disruptive for these teams that are talented like the CoE.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll run through those stat leaders for the game for the CoE. 17 points and 10 rebounds, Millie Pryor. Very solid game. Joining her in double figures as well. And funnily enough, on 13 points and 13 rebounds, Charlize Dunn. She got some points there late in the game, but was a strong defensive rebounding effort on her behalf. 13 to Kiara Evans, 13 to Katie Deeble, but 25 to Jade Melbourne. Really was able to get her points pretty easily. You can see that experience from the WNBL, her recent experience there, and moving it into that program. For the Canberra Nationals, well, it was 11 points to Hannah Kaiser in the end. She led the way for them with 10 points from Elizabeth Tonks. Other than that, just a few points here and there from everyone else. Not quite enough scoring options for the hometown team. And interestingly enough, CoE, only 8 players, but everyone got on the board. Again, that's a good spread of points for them.
Yeah, and I think another positive is, you know, they didn't score an excessive amount. I mean, 100 points is a lot of points, and unfortunately 41 or 47 is not a good number, particularly. I don't think that'll be overly happily with that. But again, you can't fault the efforts, you can't fault the defence, and finding ways to get stops there. They hit some really tough shots against contested hands.
Yeah, both teams be in for a good season, I reckon. But I tell you what, you've seen a great game here. So we'd like to thank our sponsors before we take a quick break. I would like to thank Club Lime. They're our sponsors of Basketball ACT's elite programs. You can stay fit this winter with Club Lime. All you've got to do is head to clublime.com.au to find a gym or a program that suits you. We'd also like to thank Athlete, our apparel sponsor for all our equipment at the W1 level. And would also like to thank Spalding. They are the official naming rights partner for the Spalding Waratah Senior League and the official ball partner as well. You can't play the game without a ball, so make sure you grab one of the best. Well done, Spalding. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll be back at 2 o'clock, just in 20 minutes, for the game between the Canberra Gunners and the Basketball Australia's Centre of Excellence. This is going to be a beauty as well. Tell you what, so much talent across both of these teams. It's going to be fantastic. So, Peter, thank you for joining us. Good luck with your game next week. You guys are playing the Penrith Panthers, which is going to be an interesting one for the young girls to take on. Again, that growing experience, and again, the opportunity to see the Nationals on court and to be so close to certainly put you guys in good stead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, well, we'll be back very, very soon right here for Wonky's coverage of the 2021 Spalding Waratah 1 men's game from the Belconnen Basketball Stadium.